Hello, hello, and happy Friday. We are doing something different today, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We're,
Very different.
we're usually on Sunday evenings, but we decided we were just going to say the heck with it and be totally crazy and say, here we are, Friday morning with the You Are the Miracle podcast. I am Cheyenne Kramer. This is my better half.
Donald Kramer. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day.
Absolutely.
Hi.
You are. That's right.
I got two great women with me.
There you have it. And we have a very special guest with us today. Our friend Dorene Berryman is making our special appearance with us here today. And we're so excited about that because we've been trying to get the word out here, especially in the Raleigh-Durham area in North Carolina, about a very special event we are doing on September 21st here in Raleigh. And it is called Ignite the Spark and Eradicate Suicide. Because we believe that we all have a spark within us that has the ability to be part of the solution for what we've been hearing is an epidemic. Wouldn't you call it that at this point? Definitely. I mean, we've been blown away. Every room we've gone into since we've been back in Raleigh, when we say suicide prevention, somebody is like, oh, thank God. I'm so glad you're doing this. And then they launch into a story about somebody they've lost to suicide. So that's where we're at. And today we're just so thrilled because Dorene has a very special story, and we're going to see if we can drag it out of her here so that you can hear a little bit. Dorene is planning on being part of our event in September. And so, if you like what you hear, then come out and meet Dorene and learn more about what she can do and how she can do it.
What date is that event?
September 21st.
Where and what time?
It is at Unity of the Triangle. It's going to start at 10 a.m. in the morning. And it's going to be an amazing event to really give people some new ideas and new options, not only for dealing with grieving, if you're somebody who's lost someone, but also to help redirect people who may be going down this path. So anyway, with all of that, Ms. Dorene, I know that it was kind of a shock for you when you originally got this wild and crazy idea that you should become a nurse. Can you share a little bit about that?
I was actually in the business world.
Okay.
And I was looking for a new direction, and I kept on being told to become a nurse. Like people from all over the country that I know were like, hey, you should be a nurse. And I was like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. And I said, God, if it's supposed to be, it'll be. And I took 5 courses.
Oh, my.
My first time back to school in 22 years.
Wow.
And I aced all of them.
Oh, my word. Right off the bat. Holy cow. Talk about a message, huh?
That started my whole career. And I've been an LPN, a CNA, an LPN, an RN, and now I have my BSN.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So you went into it full force after God gave you that little message.
When he opens that door, you really need to go through.
I hear you. I hear you. And then how did you end up, because nursing has so many specializations, how in the world did you end up getting involved in mental health?
Well, other than I have a big family history of mental health, I like to help people, and I don't want to help what you can see, because everybody wants to help what they can see. They can see a broken arm, they can, help you do those things. But when something's not right chemically, or you're depressed, or there's something going on that's overwhelming for you, nobody can see it.
That's true.
And it gets ignored a lot. So I ended up at a state facility in geriatrics.
Oh, wow.
And I loved it as an LPN. And I have not worked for many places that did not take in the mental health realm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and you bring up a great point, because this is one of the things that we're trying to do is break the silence around some of these things, normalize the conversation, because that's one of the things. I don't think that we had any idea how big the suicide epidemic is Because people don't want to talk about it.
No.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Most people end up having some kind of guilt feelings when they've known somebody. They think that somehow it's their fault. And all of this, it has just been too quiet for too long. And that's part of our goal, to change all of that.
That's part of the problem.
It is
Everybody's
part of the
trying to
problem.
sweep it under the rug.
Oh,
It shouldn't be swept under the rug. It's got to be talked about. It's got to be brought out to the open.
It does. It does. And we all know what stuffing emotions under the rug does to us.
We do. We do know that.
It's not
a good
good.
thing.
No.
It never brings in good things. It's better to talk about them and get them out.
Absolutely. Shining the light on them is kind of the first step, and then figuring out how to learn how to work with them, live with them in a way that is not detrimental to our overall well-being.
Yeah.
That's another point that, we've been making over and over again is I've heard plenty of doctors, MDs, say that the number one cause of illness is stress. And isn't stress just a reaction to emotions?
Yes, absolutely. And stress can cause a lot of different things. It's done it in my life because I like to compartmentalize and kind of separate out my emotions, but I'm learning slowly to
deal with them.
Deal with that. Everybody needs to deal with it. Everybody has stressors in their life and emotions that they don't want to deal with.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Wow. So, okay. So you made it through nursing school. You kind of like aced this whole thing. You've been directed into the mental health arena. And then what happens?
So then I ended up with a brain tumor.
A brain tumor.
An acoustic neuroma. So it's in the brain, but not a brain tumor.
Okay.
Technically.
Okay.
But I had to have surgery on it.
Oh my God.
So they open you up. I've lost my hearing. I've lost my taste. I lost a lot. And I woke up from this 13-hour surgery having a grand mal seizure, and I couldn't move my right side.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Before I went in, me and God, we were on the same, that I was fine. If I had passed, I knew where I was going and I was fine. I just didn't want to wake up a vegetable or paralyzed.
Oh, yes.
Thus, he said, okay, tell me your plans. And I woke up not being able to eat, walk, couldn't lift my arm, my leg. I had no control.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Oh my word. And
Yeah.
so, a lot of what we're out here being focused on, what did that become part of your story? Did you really think about just ending it all?
I did. And it has taken me over 5 years now to admit that to anybody, that
Wow.
I didn't want to put my family through this.
Mm.
From my side, others that have heard the story from another point of view don't necessarily agree everything I say, but this is from my side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they said, sit down, this is it. This is who you're going to be.
Oh my God.
And I wasn't going to do that to my family. I was 48, I think.
Wow.
47. And I wasn't going to do that to my husband or my kids.
Mm.
So if I could have, I probably would have.
Oh my goodness.
But
Oh my
God
goodness.
probably knew that. And
he made sure it wasn't
he made sure
possible.
that wasn't happening. So here I am.
You definitely felt like God played a role in keeping you here with us and not letting you take an escape route.
Absolutely. And it was the best thing. I didn't see it at the moment, but I did learn how to walk. Had a lot of support, a lot of friends, a lot of people just holding me up and literally holding me up and walking me in a pool.
Wow.
And so, I had to really overcome. But I got back to nursing. I graduated with a 4.0 for my BSN. I thought I had it together, and then I fell and hit my head.
Oh my goodness.
So
Oh my
God
goodness.
said, go sit down. I'm not done.
So traumatic brain injury was the next piece.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
So, I've been there. I've done that. I can speak honestly to all of it. It's not easy. And I encourage everybody to talk about it, but I understand how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long, long time to tell people I was suicidal. I think they knew, but
Hard to admit.
it's hard to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to deal with that part.
Well, and if you're really serious about it, why would you want to tell anybody? Because then somebody's going to try to stop you, right?
That's true.
Oh
That's
my
true.
goodness. So
Or
yeah.
think that you're looking for attention, or, there's all sorts of things that go through your own mind,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
making it harder to speak about it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So now you've had the tumor, and then
Yeah.
you've had the added challenge of the traumatic brain injury. So here you are. You're a nurse. You are automatically part of a traditional medical system.
I am.
What happened? How were they working on trying to help you regain some level of wellness?
So I at the beginning of, I guess, when I hit my head, and words come hard for me, so please forgive
You're
me
doing
if I
great.
forget. So what's I say? I also have short-term memory loss, which comes into play. So they were originally treating me for seizures because I was having seizures. Literally, you could see I was having seizures. So they did all the medications, and I lost a year of my life.
Oh my word.
We found out it wasn't a traditional seizure.
Uh-huh.
I have something like complex PTSD.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my
Okay.
body is reacting to what my mind won't deal with. Because when I hit my head, I automatically went back to, I need brain surgery again. And, that was traumatic. And so I didn't want to go there, and I didn't. And so I stuffed my emotions, and it came out. It's going to come out, people. They're just going to come out. You can't stop it. They're going to do something. You'll get sick. You can have seizures. Who knew? All sorts of things.
Wow.
So they did the traditional methods, which really messed me up and lost a year. And then I got into this great doctor that I thought was a little non-traditional, and
was he out there somewhere?
He was. I was thinking it was like seizures and medicine, and I was the traditional nurse, even though I don't have all traditional backgrounds. So I was like, I got this. But he started me meditating and using something called the Muse, which is, it reads your brainwaves.
Wow.
So it tells you when you are calm, not calm, when you're when you get to that meditative state. It gives you feedback. And at first I didn't like it. It took me a while, but then I really liked it, because then I knew when my body was releasing, and I can just get into that meditative state, which when you can get there, it's incredible.
Wow. And so what happened with the seizures after you started doing that?
So the seizures are less. I am in control of them more. I know when they're coming. I know my body.
Yeah.
I know my mind. So I know when I'm going to have a bad day, and I won't go out. It's just something I won't take a risk on. So, and I think I've canceled on you before because of things, and I'm like, I just can't drive today.
Yeah.
But you learn all the signs and symptoms, you know what's going to happen.
But the kicker is, to me anyway, and I said this earlier, and this is why we call this You Are the Miracle. To me, it is nothing short of a miracle that you're sitting here today with us.
I agree with that. It's hard to see on my side of it. I still find it challenging, and I haven't quite got to where I think I should be, which I have learned that that's not how that works, but I do like to control things, and I get told all the time, no, that's not how this works. So
I love it.
But I did all sorts of like non-traditional things. Art therapy. I did my own because being a mental health nurse, I know that music, art, meditation, like just getting to get those emotions out. You have to be able to have your coping skills, and those are mine. Walking in the woods.
Yes.
Nature.
Yes.
and with my vestibular, because I don't have a good balance system. So walking in the woods is hard. So it's another therapy for me. So
okay.
And that's, my favorite.
You've done a lot of hiking recently, haven't you?
I have.
And you've even felt well enough to be able to drive some fairly long distances?
I have.
Wow.
I have.
Wow.
I have good days and bad days, like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm slowly coming back into my own. We'll see where it leads me.
Wow. Wow. It is amazing. It is amazing. And, we've talked about some of your stories too, about having to move outside the system a little bit to be able to bring things in. Minerals happen to be a really important thing for you to be able to get out of the gotta have more surgery kind of mode. So, there are lots of things out here, and you just heard about everything from a unique piece of technology to art to exercise. There's so many things that we could call, natural ways of dealing with things. Or, here in the Triangle area, there's actually an incredible program people are trained in through Duke Integrative Medicine. How would you describe the term integrative medicine? What does that mean to you?
It's kind of what I would associate with like alternative. It kind of integrates traditional medicine, but it integrates all of these things, that practices that have been happening forever, and they don't really want to tell you about them, like meditation. Meditation has been around forever.
Yes.
Now doctors are like, hey, that's kind of, something that works. It's like chiropractors.
Right.
20 years ago was not a thing that you would go to and have the insurance company pay for.
That's true.
That is now being used. So that's what I think of integrated.
I love it. And that's it. I would say having a foot in both worlds kind of thing, because, I remember when we first moved to Raleigh, and that was back in 1991, there was people in the legislature that were trying to outlaw chiropractic, acupuncture, massage therapy, anything that was of, I call it being of nature. There's so many things. In fact, one of the phrases I've heard a lot lately, and I love it, is the intelligence that made the body knows how to heal the body.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And, but everything in our traditional systems have basically kind of ejected that idea and say, if it's not man-made, it can't possibly be any good. So I would question that, wouldn't you?
I got news.
I would say a lot more of my doctors, because I do have a lot of doctors. And I do use traditional medicines along with my integrated ones. A lot more of them are talking spiritual outlets.
Really? They're starting to.
I was sent for laser therapy on my knee.
Okay.
Which I had to pay out of pocket. It's not something the insurance company pays for.
Yeah.
But to help my knee regenerate, laser therapy, which uses radio waves. Kind of. So again, we're back into that.
Yeah. Well,
it's a different
healing vibrations.
Yep.
Frequencies.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we all know about dangerous frequencies. We've all been, they put these big lead things on you, and they're going to do x-rays and things of that nature. But there are some very powerful healing vibrations, healing frequencies. And that's part of what we want to bring to this event as well is, how can we experience things? How can we try out something? Any chance you might be able to bring one of your Muse tools and let people just see what it does?
Absolutely.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So we're hoping people will look at this event coming up as, kind of exciting to be able to see what's out there that, scientifically based. I mean, I got to believe, does the Muse actually like measure your EEG, like an EEG?
It is. It measures it. You can see on an app on my phone.
Okay.
I can tell you how you're doing You can listen to birds. Birds can chirp when you are getting more relaxed. Or there's so many different things that they can do. But it's great to tell you how you're doing. And feedback.
And that's awesome. And, certainly EEGs have been used forever in the hospital world. So this is just a way that you can get like immediate feedback.
It is immediate.
And be able to see exactly how, when I do this, this is what happens. When I do that, this is what happens. Yeah. So, that kind of thing is amazing and miraculous from our perspective. And so, that's what we're striving to do, is to bring together a lot of people where you can try some things out. You can learn some things that maybe you've never heard of before, because I think one of the saddest truths in humanity right now is that there's far too many of us who don't know what we don't know about too many things.
Yes.
I mean, you were forced to learn things outside of your knowledge base.
I absolutely have been forced to do that.
Yep.
But now I have a wealth of knowledge that I can help people with. And
absolutely. And the fact that you recognize that God has been playing a role in your recovery is huge. We want more people to hear that, because there's too many people in our society today who've kind of hit the eject button when it comes to God, creator, whatever it is your understanding might be. And it's like, no, we need to get back to understanding that there is a higher power, and it does want us to feel good, live good, be prosperous. And that's what we need to all become open to, hopefully without having to beat ourselves up too hard.
I'm still learning.
So you got hit with the 2x4 more than once.
I'm a little stubborn, so
It's all good, though. It's all good. Well, please, folks, if you like what we're talking about today, if you find value in this conversation, please like it. Please comment on it. Please share it with other people. And please let people know about the event that's going to be in Raleigh on September 21st. And one thing I didn't mention, and maybe I should, it may become a 2-day event.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
getting bigger.
It is getting bigger, because one day we're going to have a lot of people like Dorene who are sharing their stories and helping you to understand how things can expand. We're also going to have, the wellness experience where people can go and try out things that maybe they've never tried before. Mm-hmm. But the third component, and this just got dropped on me recently, is we're going to be working on assembling a real prayer vigil, asking God to work with us and through us to be able to start to trend away from this epidemic that we're experiencing of suicide.
That's great.
So we will get more information to people about that. But if you would like more information about the event, we have both free tickets just to come to the discussion point, and paid tickets. They're just $20. If you want to come to the wellness experience, you could literally get hundreds of dollars worth of mini sessions and such for $20 to just try some things out and see how they go. And then the prayer vigil as well. So if you're interested, if you'd like the link to register, some of these platforms don't like us to put it right out here immediately. But if you ask for it, I'll make sure that you get a message so that you can register, or at least see more details.
What if someone wants to talk to this young lady over here?
What's the best way? I mean, should people try to reach out to you through one of the social media platforms, or is there another way that they could try to reach you?
My email is the best way.
Okay.
And I can
tell us what it is.
Well, my email is sanitylost @2, a letter U and a number 2 @yahoo.com. I have 2 children who are very challenging, and that was before I was a mental health nurse. So
they might have inspired some of it.
I have, yeah, that is true.
I love it. All right, Sanity Lost, the number 2, and then the letter U, and then another 2. All right, so 2U2.
Yep.
@yahoo.com.
Yes.
All right.
You don't put it in the chat so people can see it or not?
Well, I'm probably going to do it individually on wherever the posts show up because that way we can make sure we hit all of the platforms. So
Okay.
It's all good. Well, Dorene, thank you so much for being with us today.
You are so welcome. It's my pleasure.
This is part of her journey as well, is learning that it's okay to get out here and share your stories, share your wisdom.
This is the first
Just
time
amazing
I've really
person.
done it. So
You're an amazing person.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You are the miracle that the world's looking for. And we are encouraging all of you to become the same because there's nobody else that's been through what Dorene's been through. And there's nobody else that's been through what you've been through.
I was going to say everybody's journey is their
unique.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we hope that as we go through doing these podcasts that we inspire you to get up and figure out how can you be part of the miracle that the world is looking for. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And we will see you probably in about another week on the You Are the Miracle podcast.
Hey.
Until then, have an awesome week, everybody. And don't forget, we want to know if you'd like more information about our suicide prevention event. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.